Hey friends, I feel like a good old-fashioned chit chat. Get ready with me today. So let's do it because I have so many thoughts going on in my head right now. You know, this weekend, I got into a little back and forth with a brand. It wasn't even a rude back and forth. It was very much a typical PR discussion back and forth with a brand about their size, inclusivity, and model choices, etc. And then someone in the community commented and called it bullying to talk to this brand about their models and how their direction. And your girl crashed out. Like, I'm in the Rebecca form of crash out, which just means I put some stuff to my stories and I was like, ah! And I'm just kind of at this point of like good riddance. There is never going to be a pair of pants or a top that is cute enough to make me forego my values. So I want to talk about that. And then this morning in the shower, I'm listening to my music. I'm like, you know what? I always listen to like news or podcasts. And I'm like, I want to jam out to music. I want to feel and not think. Okay. And then it was funny because Traitor by Olivia Rodrigo came on. And I was like, you know what? I feel a little betrayed by my ex. And I haven't really processed that. I've given like him 80,000 excuses and kind of been like, that's how he thinks. That's how he processes. He just isn't emotionally mature. And then today, for the first time, I'm like, ooh, I actually feel hurt by some of the things he did. And it really hits back. My eyebrows, why don't you tell me? It really hits back to just the way men have treated me my entire life. And I'm pissed. Like, I'm pissed that someone I let into my life for 5 months and like saw me with my family, saw me with my nephew, saw my heart, betrayed me in that way. So I want to talk about both those things. And if you're thinking, Rebecca, this is quite the dramatic get ready with me already, you're right. And that's why I felt like I needed to talk, because I have a lot of feelings and I need to get them out. And I am tired of not expressing them. All right. Well, today I'm getting ready to go to my sister's birthday dinner, and I am also probably going to film a little something for Bloom Chic. So I need to look better than this. And I'm first going to go in with Laura Geller Spackle Primer. I've been using this for years. It's to the point now where I buy multiples because this is the moisturizer I prefer under my makeup. I get the hydrate version of it, and yeah, I go through them regularly, and I'm just always going to stay with this product because it works really well for me. All right, let's talk about the internet beef I found myself in this weekend. And let me just say, this is probably a one-sided beef. This is probably a one-sided beef. And while I know these people online and have talked to them before and have worked with them in some capacities, I highly doubt they give much care about who I am as a person. And so like it's not like I don't think I'm keeping them up at night, that I'm upset. And in fact, I've blocked them and I do not care to see or support them going further. So like, why would they care that I don't care for them? Because I'm just over it. And I will say, I am tired. Like, I think in this moment, in this like historical moment, it is so hard to be an other in any capacity. And I think we had a few years of people being like, celebrate diversity, push back against, negative body image, all that stuff. And now there's a lot of like backtracking, and it is what it is, and people can do whatever they want with their bodies. I have done whatever I want with my body. But it is hard to see that advocacy for plus size people is really hard to do without significant pushback. And I'm going to still do it because I'm a fat woman who loves other fat people and like truly wants us to be able to live our lives. So I'm going to keep on doing it regardless of the fact that it is hard to do and people really want us to shut up. But I'm getting more and more infuriated by the request to shut up. And yeah, so this kind of leads me down a rabbit hole. So, I, for whatever reason, like call it kismet, call it weird timing. I recently on the podcast, on the Fab Fatties, we had an episode where we were responding to different things happening in the plus size world. And one of those things we responded to was Samira. Like, we really love Samira. Samira is a figure on TikTok and Instagram, wildly talented, excellent singer, incredibly smart, and she pushes back at brands and she really holds them accountable. And because she has a large platform, the brands often actually respond. And she had made some comments about Forever 21 closing because she had met with them and gave them free labor, consulted about their plus size offerings, going in with Foera and the color nude. This is like a really cheap. I think it's okay. Listen, I don't promise to have great products for you guys. I'm just doing the makeup. Okay. She really puts pressure on brands, and like, I appreciate that. People can get weird about it because to voice any criticism, to voice any negative thought towards a brand can be seen, especially for brands that make plus sizes, as like disloyal. And I'm just like, okay, so many plus size brands are working at a disservice of plus size folks. So many brands that have a modicum of plus sizes are absolutely not meeting the needs. Why are we expected to not say anything? And I appreciate that she says it, and she says it and does it in a way that really captures an audience and gets shit done. And like, I'm impressed. All right. I've been doing online plus size community work for over a decade, since I was 22. I started my blog when I was 22. I'm 37 now. Am I impressed with Samira, who like probably, I mean, I don't know how long she's been doing this stuff, but like really blew up in the last year and has not stopped her rhythm since? Yeah, I'm fucking impressed. Okay. And anyways, we're talking about Samira, and we're talking about how she really does stand up to brands at the detriment of herself. Like, it's not marketable to hold brands accountable. It's not marketable to be someone that's willing to say, I see what you did there, but it's not enough. That is not marketable. Most marketable people are like very much criticism behind the doors, or no criticism at all, and just celebration, celebration, celebration. And so I am impressed that she is willing to put herself out there. And we were talking about it on the podcast. And I said, you know, I can't imagine how hard it is, because I spoke up to one brand about their direction and I had anxiety about it. And Alyssa's like, well, tell us about it. So I did on the podcast. I was like, the brand is What Lo Wants, which is an indie brand and run by a plus size woman. And she started off only offering plus sizes. Now she offers down to an extra small. And since she's introduced those sizes, what I've seen is that the paid models, the models who are shown in her clothes, shown in her marketing, are small. And if there is a bigger person above a size 1X, it's a customer. It's someone who's purchased the item and looks hot as shit, and she reposts it. And it bothers me. It bothers me that the official paid work, paid advertisement is on smaller bodied folks, and the only visibly plus size representation, someone who would actually be deemed plus size by the regular Joe Schmoes of the world, are people who paid for it and shared it, and then it's being brought in. And I'm not offended by brands sharing their customers, but I am offended that especially if they're like the third, second person featured in a carousel over and over again, and they're unpaid. Like, after a while, the track record indicates that those who are paid are the smaller bodied folks, and that upsets me. Okay? Lola wants off the bed. 1 second. I now have Lola hair on my dress, and you can blame her for that. So we talk about it, and I discussed how like she addressed it at the time and was liking all these other comments, but didn't like my comment. And then I was affiliate of hers because I'd worked with her previously, and the affiliate the next day was taken away. And I was like, wow, did she remove me as an affiliate because of that? And I reached out to her, and she's like, oh no, we're doing something. We're trying out something, and it just removed everybody. It's not just you. And I was like, okay, misunderstanding, fine. But like, I told her, like, I noticed you liked everyone else's comments, and my one comment about plus size models is the only one you didn't like and the one you responded to. So I've told her that. She's aware. She's aware that people recognize that she's using smaller and smaller models. This is not a new thing. Since then, you know what? Let me pull up my receipts. If I were to look at her first page of like the grid I see on her Instagram, the last 12 pictures, there is one Visibly Plus person all the way at the end. It is a customer. I don't know if this person was gifted these products or not. But it's not a model shoot. It is someone who wore the outfit and took bomb photos. If I scroll down, again, all the actual Visibly Plus people are customers. When you get to her models, they're 1X and smaller. And back in the day, some of her older clothes, she did photograph models in a 2X, 3X and up, okay? Now, here's the thing. She can do whatever she wants, but don't tell me that this is a budget thing, that this is because you're a small business, etc. When these are choices you're making, you are choosing right now to mostly advertise to your smaller size customers. And perhaps it's because you have new sizes and you want them to know you have their sizes. Say that. You have so many plus size influencers who love your brand. Why are you not working with them? Again, why are all the paid promotional shoots thin-bodied people? Why? And anyways, I share that in the podcast. Well, it just so happens that she released a new item this weekend. And I'm almost out, but I bought some more on eBay. It's Jacqueline Cosmetics Vitamin D Bronzer. She released 2 new pieces this weekend, which are like lace pieces. And I go and look at the thing. Of course, the model. Beautiful. I believe if I went to her listing, I think the model's a size small. There's 4 pieces, basically 2 tops, 2 bottoms, and 2 different colors each. And all of them said sold out in 5X. Now, that's the only size sold out, and it was in all the pieces. And I was like, that's interesting. Then I go over to her promotional thing, and I see again, she's doing a giveaway. She always, makes content about being an inclusive brand. And someone had commented saying, I'd love to see these on plus size models. And she responded, someone commented, they're beautiful. Would love to see these items on plus size models too. And again, this is something I've said to her. And I know probably other people have too. And she goes, we totally hear you. From the start, we've centered plus size representation. As we grow, we're working to show all bodies, plus, mid-size, and straight size. As you've grown to include more sizes, the plus sizes has gone down. All right. As a small team working with a wide size range, we do our best to show that diversity, even though we can't feature every size in every shoe due to budget constraints. The thing is, you don't have to shoot every size in every shoe. You could have one straight size model and one plus size model. Again, if I don't see it in pluses, and if your last couple releases are all straight size models, how the hell am I supposed to know that your size range is plus size? We hope our overall track record reflects our values, and we're so grateful for your support as we continue to grow. We can't wait to share even more content as people get their orders and tag us. And this is the thing. I personally feel, this is my feeling, this is my opinion, that What Lo Wants has been hiring thinner models and has been relying on their solid customer base of plus size people to be the representation of the plus size folks. And maybe it's because she knows she has an audience there, she knows she has a customer base. It doesn't sit well with me. And I'm allowed to feel that way. It doesn't sit well with me that people are paying fucking plus size people who always have to pay anyways to even try on something is going to be a representation of the plus size folks. So I commented. I say, I echo this comment. I understand that budget is an issue, but when I see inclusive brands pay straight or mid-size models and only feature plus-size folks when they purchased or have been gifted products, it does not make me feel included or valued as a customer. And since she started doing this, I have not wanted to purchase any of her items, regardless of whether I think they're cute or not. The values don't sit with me. I know, I'm a little angry. I'm sorry. So then she comments from her personal account. And she goes, hi, stepping in here. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I really appreciate you speaking up. Let's remember that. Just to clarify, we've consistently featured plus size customers and models in our paid shoots from the very beginning. That is not true unless she's considering the mid-size 1X. I guess 1X is plus size. It is a 1X with a thin face and no belly. Cool. To address the need that I saw. I built this company starting with plus size to address the need that I saw. That representation has always been at the heart of what we do. As we grow, we're working to reflect the full range, including straight and mid-size, but never at the expense of plus size visibility. I would say that you have done the expense of plus size visibility. In this case, and sometimes other, it honestly comes down to things like model availability, sample sizing, and tight turnarounds. So, you're telling me that there wasn't plus size models available in Los Angeles, and probably sample sizing. Okay. What are you doing to address that? To address the fact that you're not getting plus size samples? Without over explaining, I hope you can understand we truly do our best, and there's a lot that goes behind the scenes that doesn't always go to plan. I am willing to suspend my disbelief and say they're doing their best. What I don't see is problem solving on the other end of things to make sure plus size representation is happening via their own shoots. And that is because for months, the models are smaller and smaller, and I have not seen an effort to do actual model shoots or actual promotion of your items on your website where models are wearing the clothes in plus sizes. So I am willing to believe you think you're doing your best, and I am saying through my point of view, it is not enough, and that you have not really considered the message you're sending, even though this is the second time I've said something to you. And then she says, a big part of the challenge is simply needing to shoot more like bigger brands are able to do, and we'd love to get there, which is why we love customers who tag us. But that is not to say that as a replacement for our shoots. I hope it feels fair to ask you that you view us through the lens of a small business, not the same as holding a major company with massive resources accountable. And I do understand that. And that is actually why I would be okay with the fact that you are working with influencers and gifting them items and sharing from them. I really hope they're not purchasing all your items and that's all it is. I used to model for a boutique in my area for free. But she included me in all of her marketing. She included plus sizes in every size in her marketing. Basically, don't hold us that accountable. Don't hold us as accountable as you would big brands. Okay. We deeply value our plus size community and will absolutely continue to center and celebrate it. I don't see you centering it. Point blank. I don't see you centering it. I really hope you get there, because my DMs are full of people agreeing with me who are in the community. And they might not say it because there's too much to lose or they have hope for you. But I'm not the only one who sees it. And I'm not the only one who's saying it. Maybe to you I am. Maybe publicly I am. Please know, people are seeing the move away from plus size. People are seeing the devaluing of it. And that is all on what your brand has put out there. That is not on me saying something. That is on what your brand has put out there. I hear you. I think seeing the change in your marketing is part of those feelings. Again, this is not me making up things because I don't see my body in one shoot. This is an overall change in marketing. And I agree, it'd be great if you could shoot more, and I understand limited resources. Can you speak to the size range of the new lace products? When I checked it out, there were no 5Xs available. Did they sell out, or was it not made in those sizes? I really do want to understand where this brand is going, and I've noticed a change in who is shown in your clothes. Truth. And it's made me personally take a step back. Truth. I do understand it's a small business, and I really hope you hear how much inclusive brands mean to us, but also wanting to make sure that we mean something to the brand. And quite frankly, to myself, amen. Okay? Like, I don't have to. There's never again a piece of clothing that is so cute that I have to be so thankful this brand who's valuing thin people at least thought about me and made something in my size. I don't have to, and I won't. And I am personally offended because you are someone who's part of the plus size community. So yes, I am offended even more. Again, I appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts. I care deeply about our plus size customers, and that will never change. Size inclusivity is a foundation of this brand. I need it, and so do my customers. As we grow, we're working to better reflect the full size range we offer, but not by pulling away from where we started. It might feel like things have changed, but part of that is simply because we now offer 10 sizes instead of 4, and we're doing our best to represent the full spectrum while still holding on our roots. I do wonder if this truly is your best. I do wonder that. It's a lot of work on the manufacturing side, but it's important to me. She says the 5X is sold out. Do you need a 5X in these? If so, you can sign up for back in stock alerts. Here's the thing. here's how I read it, and this is absolutely conjecture and me being probably an English major that reads into everything. She knows I'm not a 5X. I think that's her way of being like, do you need a 5X? No, I don't need a 5X. What I need is my friends who are 5X to be able to purchase from you if you say you carry their sizes and you just drop this item today and it's not in their size. Someone messaged me and said, I checked out this website as soon as they launched the products. I didn't see a 5X. I don't have any proof. I don't know. I am going to take Lauren at her word that they had 5X and they sold out. How many of those pieces? I don't know. By the time that I looked at the items in the afternoon of the first day they arrived, the 4X said it had 5 pieces left. I can absolutely understand that a small business is going to have small quantities. And I know that typically whenever you run clothing, the least amount of pieces are at either ends of the spectrum. So perhaps a handful of 5X people were able to purchase it. And I hope they enjoy it and all of that. I'm very cautious of this brand and very curious to see how their size availability will go going forward. And if they say what they believe in, I'm hoping they'll have a turnaround around it. Now, I was going to let things lie because, she spoke about her values. She said this is what she wants. Okay, I'm going to take your word at it. And I really hope that's the case because, quite frankly, I feel for the plus size people who have really grown brand identity with you. And we don't have many brands we feel that with and are now seeing only thin bodies in your images on your website. I'm using Key West. I don't know why I bronzed my face so much. Y'all just let me live. So I'll let you lie. I'll let it lie. Like, whatever. It's fine. But when I went in the morning to look and see if any other responses had been added, because yes, I was curious about where this conversation was going, I saw someone who I've had on the podcast before, Miss Giggles, who commented on this, and her comment actually enraged me. I'm just going to be honest. Her comment enraged me because besides the first person saying I'd love to see it on plus size models, this is a giveaway post. So most people are just tagging their friends. I'm the only one that asks things. So keep in mind when everyone says, hey, everyone, when someone's talking about the fact that this brand got criticism, please know that's me. I'm the one that asked questions. So Miss Giggles says, hey everyone, please take a moment to look at what Low wants, then go look at Torrid and Anthropology or Skims or even Eloquy paid ads lately and realize that yes, there isn't a plus size model for this specific post, but the difference in overall representation is astounding. I disagree. It's not just this specific post. It is marketing over the last 6 months, and I would never see Skims as like the beacon of body inclusivity or body positivity, nor Anthropology. Torrid, long since have thought they're a little bit trash. Eloquy, I think they have models in decent sizes. But the difference, this is the first launch. Let Lauren and the girlies have a minute to post more before we double down on bullying a brand, actually doing the work, compared to even plus size only brands only shooting size 12s currently. Said with love. Heart. Okay. Y'all, this is spicy meat, and it's not even that spicy, really. But, really? Again, this is not just one post. She told a customer who said, hey, I'd love to see some plus size models. Hope to share them when people get their orders. AK, waiting for people to pay for it to get it and share. So, miss me with the whole first post. Miss me with that. Because, again, there's no plan except for to use when customers post their own shit. That pisses me off. There is no plan to feature plus size folks in these clothes until a paid customer or probably a gifted influencer posts their item. Calling it bullying. That's what pissed me off. A, I shared my feelings. B, the owner said she appreciated me sharing my feelings. She appreciated me voicing it. Lauren actually responded to Miss Giggles and said, thank you for the love. Oh, I'm glad that you appreciate her love, as she called me a bully for asking you questions. that quite frankly you should be anticipating because of the change in your marketing. You know the best way to answer to it? Addressing it in your marketing, addressing it in the things you make. Because the only thing I've seen in the last 6 months really addressing it is you making reels about how people are mad about other brands not being inclusive, but not celebrating the brands that are inclusive while featuring yourself in those videos and never really doing inclusivity. Not to my point of view, and I'm allowed to have that point of view. So I responded being, it's bullying to ask a brand why paid models have consistently gotten smaller on new product releases and why the largest sizes aren't available, because that's what I did. So, you know, I've had Miss Giggles on the podcast. We chat with her. She was our very first guest. She does sex positive work. She does eating and travel work. She shows a fat person living their life exactly as they want. I'm happy that she does that. But not at the expense of shutting up. Not at the expense of being told I'm a bully and I shouldn't be voicing concerns to a brand who's been doing this for multiple times now. And I just think, wow, the amount of larger plus end folks, because again, I've been, if you're new here, I've been a size 28, 30, 32. The amount of those folks who do not get advocated for by smaller people. The amount of those folks who get demonized, villainized for saying, hey, this is a shit experience for me. I'm going to guess it's way worse. It's way, way worse out there for them than Lauren having to address the fact that she doesn't have 5Xs available and she's been picking smaller models. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to fucking guess. Okay? So yeah, this pissed me off. I want nothing to do with this work in the plus size community. It's not my jam. I'm disinterested. I no longer need to follow and see what Miss Giggles is doing. Her advocacy does not align with mine. I no longer need to see what Low Wants is doing. It no longer aligned with me. Listen, great products from what I've seen. I might be buying them secondhand, but again, my ass doesn't need to be in any outfit enough to deal with that. And I just think the whole thanks for the support whenever you just said thank you for voicing your concerns is so disingenuous. You could say, hey, thank you for the support. We're so thankful that people show up here and tell us what they need from us as a plus size customer. But no, it's her friend saying, please stop bullying this company. And she's like, thank you. So that's my thoughts on that. And it obviously ruffled my feathers. And it's because this brand has been doing this for a while, and it's not the first time I've said anything. And it's just tale as old as time, is it not? Like, if you've been around the plus size block for a while, is this not tale as old as time? It's tale as old as time. And I don't want people, gaslighting me that this is one post. No. No. And I do not want people smiling in my face and saying they really care and then saying some other shit elsewhere and just absolutely not standing up for their plus size customers they so much care about. Like, if you're going to care about us, care about us. This is what I wrote on my stories. Y'all, are you here for the tea for my anger? Because I had to be here for it regardless. I said, the way I wish people would swoop in and stand up for me against the 5+ YouTube creators who weekly make videos about me and my podcast host, shitting on us for being fat and not performing weight loss to them. I wish people would stand up for me the same way they stand up for size-inclusive brands centering small models against legitimate questions from concerned customers. Damn, our priorities of protection from fat phobia is actually laughable. And I feel that way. I feel it's laughable. Laughable. And I'm tired. This is what I swear. I'm tired of fat creators being made villains for asking real questions to brands, regardless of how big they are. Quite frankly, more people should be asking questions. We shouldn't pretend we don't see changes to models and size availability. Stop asking plus size people to play dumb to be nice and take what is given to us. No, absolutely fucking not. Don't spit in my face and tell me you love me. Like, you have made choices. I told you how they made me feel. Don't make me think that you haven't made those choices. You've made those choices. Own it. Own it. Own it. You've chosen to hire models in your smaller sizes. You might have reasons for doing it, but that's what you've chosen. So own it and don't tell me this is a one-time thing. It's not been a one-time thing. And then if you're going to say that you care about plus size folks, then actually care about us. Care about our concerns. Care about what makes us feel shitty. Care about giving us space to name it. All right? And don't act as if we're not allowed to have any thoughts that aren't congratulatory towards anybody who is in this community. People do things that don't align, and I'm allowed to say so. And don't in one breath say thank you for sharing your concern, and then in another breath, like a comment, calling me a bully. So yeah. Done. Dusted. I'm so over it. I'm so over. I don't make a dime. I don't make a dime from plus size companies. It's been so long since I've earned anything. It's been over a year since I worked with Bloom Chic regularly. And that's when I made the most money doing plus size clothing because I modeled for them. And I don't have to pretend these brands are doing anything revolutionary. You're not doing anything revolutionary. You're not. And stop asking me to believe you are. Stop asking me to believe you are the champion of plus size folks when you continuously only feature thin-faced, no-bellied, 1Xs, mid-size, and small people. I'm not going to take it and be told that. And you can say you're doing your best, and I can say your best feels shitty. End of rant. End of rant. Okay, I'm now going in with ColourPop's brow pencil in dark brown. So that's been my world this weekend, and I will say, as a little cherry on top of the literal shit sandwich that I felt like I was being served, Samira saw one of our reels from the podcast where we're talking about the fact that she does awesome advocacy work, and she bopped us and followed the podcast. And I was like, you know what? My brother-in-law called me and asked about some YouTube stuff because he started his channel recently. So I am finishing up the brows while I do that. I am so annoyed that I have one brow that is absolutely thinner haired than the other. Makes it a little bit harder. I'd love one day, if I ever have money again, LOL, that to get microbladed and stuff to make them more even, but here we are for now. Okay. What in the world was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about, but I think I was saying that Samira followed our podcast. Which just felt like, all right, I know ultimately what my direction is, and I just gotta follow it. And if any brands or people don't align, it's fine. They can go do their own thing. I can go do mine. I did not appreciate it, and that's fine. I can just leave it behind now. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Okay. So, let me get into the feelings around my ex. I was kind of surprised that this came up for me. I'm not, compared to my co-hosts, I am not someone that often feels sad, or feels often even hurt. I tend to intellectualize it. I tend to intellectualize that people are just doing their own thing, and it is what it is, and they don't mean to hurt me, and it is whatever. And gosh, with my ex, there are some things that I really was just willing to overlook because I did in certain ways trust him to be a good person and liked being around him, and we liked so many of the same things. I could actually just chill around him and see him as a potential long-term partner. But when we were, I really feel like in November something changed in our relationship, and just everything changed. I felt like I was making him mad all the time. I felt like everything I did was conflated with being a bigger thing. I was not a good girlfriend. And some of those things, I really tried to hear him out and hear where it was coming from. And I also felt the need sometimes to defend myself. And I felt like some of his wants from me were not appropriate. Example, we were at a Pokemon event, and I talked to some people about Pokemon. There was a group of 4 people. 3 of them were guys, 1 of them was a girl. And I said something casually to them about Pokemon. And he was upset for me going up and talking and being friendly to a group of guys. And I'm just not going to accept that that's a bad thing to do. Like, I think it's controlling. I think it's misogynistic. I think it's jealousy. I think there's a lot of things. And I was willing to kind of understand that he needed to work through it. And like, I felt for him that he had such an emotional response to it, but I wasn't willing to take that on for myself. And he really struggled to understand that I'm not doing that. I'm using a little thing. I got this at a while ago at Target, which I know, but it's the Naturally Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I really like it, and I do want to buy more. I will say, based on the amount that's in this, like based on the weight of the product, it'd be better to buy 2 of these, especially if there's a buy one get one, than a full tube, but we'll see where it goes. So there were plenty of things that he did that I thought were toxic, but I also thought he could work through them. Okay. Towards the end of our relationship, one of the biggest fights was about something sexual. And it was something he wanted me to do. And I personally had a problem with it because it felt like it wasn't even something he wanted me to do necessarily with him. It was to help, it was to prepare to do something with him. And in his mind, it was a simple action that it could be part of self-care that he just did not see why it was an emotionally charged thing for me. For me, the emotionally charged part of it was that he would ask if I had done the self-care that day. And if my answer was no, it was, well, then I'm not going to do XYZ. Punishment. And you don't care about my happiness. And you, like, this is normal for a relationship and you need to, blah, blah, blah. And for me, with it involving my body and it being sexual, which I've had so many men only care about me when I met their sexual needs, it triggered me. It triggered me, and not triggered in a way that I was like acting out, but triggered in a way that I'm like, ooh, you are not safe for me. And I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to tell him, hey, whenever I tell you something that you don't like, you immediately go into punishing behaviors. He would not accept that. He would not accept the things he said to me, the fact that he'd be like, oh, that I'm not doing this, and I do all these things for you that I don't want to do, which was including like going to a wedding with me. And I'm like, wow, okay. Got it. Was punishing. And he started saying hurtful things. And when he says hurtful things, it was, well, I got mad, that therefore, not when you get mad, you get mean. And what is the deal with that? And why aren't you taking accountability for it and saying sorry, and also understanding that you can be annoyed with me. You can be mad at me. You can't be mean to me. You can't be mean to me. And this is where we really started just absolutely, like, I just realized that when we had conflict, we couldn't work it through, because on his end, it was just me not being willing, not loving him enough to do the stuff that would make him happy. And on my end, I'm like, whenever you're not happy, you don't treat me respectfully, and I no longer feel safe with you. And today was the first day I felt mad at him, which is really weird. We broke up in December, and I'm like listening to the song, and it's, about something else, but she's talking about the feeling of betrayal. And I'm like, yeah, it feels like a betrayal. That's what it is. It feels like a betrayal. And that's why I'm mad, because he knew about my podcast. I've talked to him about my feelings about things. I let him into my life. I let him meet my family and see me with my nephews and nieces, which is my most loving self. And when I was unable and unwilling to meet something for his sexual needs, he became mean to me. Whether he wants to believe it or not, he became mean to me. And that feels like betrayal. That feels like I am no longer a human that gets to have your respect because of this thing. And it feels like betrayal, because I let you deep into my life. And then who I am as your partner got diminished to what role I play in your sex life, and to what extent I am pleasing you in that area. And I get that sex is important in relationships, and it is absolutely a sign that we were not compatible. But the personalization of it, of, well, you don't love me enough, you don't want to make me happy, you're not willing, it becoming a me problem. And then him being like, well, I guess I can live with your trigger, but it means I'll just never be happy. That puts it back on me, right? And yeah, I feel betrayed. And I'm glad to have named it, because even now, like, I'm not mad at him. If I were to run into him, I'd be nice and kind and all that stuff. But I think it's the first time, like, I've really been able to be like, because I feel like I hurt him because I'm the one that broke up with him. And I think it was the first time, like, okay, he hurt you. Like, I can accept that I was hurt by him. And for some reason, I just really was resistant resistant to naming that. And I think it's because I felt guilty for being the one who, like, lost hope. And I share in the podcast in the next week. It should go out next week, I believe, about a recent dating experience where I also felt guilt for not liking someone the way I thought I would. I have a lot of guilt around rejection or really having preferences or even, like, I don't know, realizing that what I thought I was entering into with good faith, like, just isn't what I actually want or need. I feel guilt about that. And so, yeah, I felt guilty for being the one, and I had to, like, rationalize to myself that it was right to leave him. And I'm just now like, damn, he hurt me. So, yeah, that was a weird emotion to come up in the shower, man. I swear, Allie says, like, the shower is a place where, you're often just left alone with your thoughts. And today that proved to be true. And I've listened to that song so many times, and today it just hit different. So, yeah, I am trying to get it back out there and dating, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do have hormones and I'm attracted to men. So, like, I would like to date. But I just gotta take the pressure off of it. Like, I don't know if I'll meet anyone. And, like, I have to be okay with not liking people. Like, I don't have to like people. And I think for some reason, if someone's nice to me, I'm like, I feel like I have to like them. And I'm like, no, you don't have to like them like that. You can be their friend. You can be a kind human to them. You don't have to date them. And I don't know why I have to talk myself into, like, understanding that. I'll talk to my therapist about that. Okay. I need to dry my hair. So let's come back once I've done that. Okay, I'm back. Recently got a haircut. It's a little bit, I don't know, there's some pieces that are a little extra long. And I really need to get in there because it's not all even. But I can't find my scissors that are meant for hair. So for now, we're just going to rock with it. I promise I'm not experiencing all bad emotions. I promise I'm not experiencing all bad emotions. I am, living life, doing things with my friends. Today, yes, I think I said I'm celebrating my sister's. Yesterday, I went and celebrated my nephew's 3rd birthday, and man, 3-year-olds are freaking cute because they are toddlers, but they can talk. So they talk in their little voices, and their little voices are just so cute. He did pinch his sister at one point, and he said sorry, and I know as an adult we shouldn't laugh when little kids have pinched or hurt another kid and they're saying sorry, but his apology was just hilarious. And then, and then my sister turned 40, or she's turning 40 this week, so she wanted to kind of just go out and do something. So I wanted her to go to this Italian restaurant that I like called Basilico's because she'd never been. It sounded fun. And then because we wanted to, she loves books. She's a book girl. She has a little bookstore for reselling books. She runs a book talk account. She's just a book girl, And we had talked about going to some different bookstores in Charlotte, but she was like, listen, I have enough books. I probably shouldn't be buying any more books. So we decided to go to the mall instead, which was bad for me because the mall we went to has a Miniso. And Miniso is kind of like, I don't know, like a Japanese culture little shop. It has a lot of anime and things like that, but it also has all these little blind bags and they're cute little things. And y'all, I've realized I am 37-year-old and really embracing my inner child. I have a light in my room now that does the Aurora Borealis effect. And I love little blind bags with cute little figurines. Like, I love it. If I could also have more stuffed animals, I probably would. And I'm leaning into that. So I am not rich, and a lot of these blind bags are kind of expensive. And I had gone, so I'm a teacher. I teach in higher education. Teachers in higher education do generally earn more than K through 12 teachers. But like, as someone who is single and rents and has rented for over a decade on my own, I don't have a lot of extra money, especially because I'm trying to pay off my debt. So I ended up door dashing Friday night and earned like $100, and that was my budget, $100, and that was to cover dinner too. And I'm glad I did it, because then I had a little spending money at the mall, and they had a little blind box kiosk with some of the more interesting blind boxes. And I got some stuff at Miniso. So you might be seeing a little unboxing video of me on here. And I know that's not my normal content, and it has nothing to do with plus size stuff, but it is my interests, and I think they're kind of cute and cool, and I like showing my little goofier, side. Someone I know in real life the other day was like, "I love all of your whimsy," and I'm like, "Thank you, thank you," because I think I used to be a little embarrassed about it, and now I'm just like, "Isn't this cute and fun?" And if I'm interested in it, there's someone else who's also interested in it, so I plan to share that. Oh, Lola, don't be huffing at me. So yeah, we went and shopped. My nephew got some new red shoes. I anticipate seeing him wear them today because he's obsessed with red. And we're meeting today with the rest of the family to celebrate her birthday. I am going to leave here in a little bit early because I want to go get her balloons. We're generally really relaxed when it comes to birthday celebrations, but this is her 40th. Her and her immediate family went on a cruise to celebrate, so she's already done some big celebrating. But I'm gonna get her some balloons and got her a gift, so I'm gonna go get that ready. And yeah, it should be a fun afternoon of hanging with the family and seeing my niece and nephews. And yeah, what else is there? Lola the other week had a medical emergency, and I had to take her to the vet. Had to take her to the emergency vet, didn't I, Lola? Lola's 14 and a half now, y'all. If you've been with me for a while, you know you were there when I got her, because I adopted her within a couple months of starting my blog. But it's getting harder for her to walk, and she has a lot of arthritis in her hips and knees, and it's making it hard to walk comfortably. The other day I came home, and she had very obviously like worn herself out trying to get back up, and gotten herself in a corner, and her hip looked funky. It looked like it was swollen. So I took her to the emergency vet. They did x-rays, they did all the things, and they said nothing's broken, nothing's out of place, but it looks like, she just has really significant arthritis. She's probably in a lot of pain. So they gave me some pain medications, but she always has like these higher liver enzymes, which makes some medication more dangerous than others. So anyways, all that money later to find out the swelling they think is actually just a lipoma shifted, because it's still there. It still looks the same. So I think maybe she got herself in a bad situation. Lipoma is a little fatty tumor. She has them all over her body. I think something shifted, and it seems okay. But anyways, took her to my regular vet the following Monday, and we decided to put her on an injection that is supposed to help process the pain from arthritis, and it's a little bit better for their livers because it doesn't process through the liver. And she seems to be doing, it's called Librela, I believe. She seems to be doing well on it. She's definitely had more energy. I've also noticed she's sleeping through the night, which makes me think that in the middle of the night when she was waking up to go pee, it really wasn't that she had to go pee as much as it probably was pain that was waking her up. And then, of course, she gets up and decides she needs to go pee. So I'm hopeful. She's only been on it once. She gets it every 30 days, and it is pricey for medication. But if it's going to make her feel good and have good days and be able to be more safely at home, then we're going to do that. So she's doing all right. And I'm very hopeful that this medication was the right move and will continue to be the right move. All right, so I just did my hair. I'm going to use Madison Reed to do root touch-up. This is also, I believe, in dark brown. But I have pretty thin hair. You can see kind of my scalp in little bits. So this just helps kind of fill in some of that so there's not so much scalp reflecting. Makes your hair look thicker than it actually is. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of Topic, which is loose hair particles, loose fibers for the back of my head. I don't keep a lot of lip products at my vanity because I tend to put them in my purse and I apply it when I'm leaving, but let's see what I got. My sister wants these Wonder Skin ones, and I'm trying to think if I want to give her mine or keep it for myself and be, you know, I bought them. So maybe I will try one today and see if I actually like them or not, because I've had them and I haven't used them, so maybe they're better off with her. I think I'll do Whimsical, which is a little bit more rosy colored. I do have dry lips. If I remember correctly, this product can like really cling to any dry bits of your lips. So I'm going to go outside first and then inside, because definitely like this area is the drier part of my lips and it needs to cling there less. So it comes out purple and I believe it peels off. Oh, I think you maybe are supposed to do it with water. Am I? Ugh, why'd I do that? Well, I really hope you're able to remove it yourself in a much more calm way than I did. You can see where it clings to like the dry. So maybe this is better if you're someone who does like regular like lip exfoliation and moisturizing, because I'm not great at that. But I do think it's a really pretty color. I have another one that I probably will use less, so let me check out her list, because if that other color is on her list, I'll give her the other color. The other color I probably won't use as much is Lovely. Okay, so to finish up getting ready for the day, I am going to do my nails. I'm going to put on some false nails, some press-ons. I haven't done that in forever, but I've been really kind of wanting to. And when I do the unboxing of my blind boxes, I want to have little nails on and be like, you know, ASMR-y. You know, little things that bring me joy. So I do love Olive and June's press-ons. I'm going to do their short length in the design Forget Me Not. It's almond shape. That is what it looks like. They're very cute. So I'll do those off camera and maybe I'll come back at the end and show you what they look like on. But yeah, I'll finish this up and then I'll be going to my sister's party and looking forward to it. Thanks for listening to me yap about some of the not so happy emotions I've been processing. 'Tis life. Okay, I am back from doing my nails. They look really cute. I like the design. I always use Glamnetics actual glue, because I find it stays on really well. And this is super easy to just keep in my purse. And if something were to push one of these nails off, generally I find that when Olive and June nails do come off, they don't like tear or anything. They just pop off accidentally, especially if you have a lot of force against them. So it's pretty easy to just put glue on them again and put them back on. You glue the nail and your actual nail and hold down for like 25 seconds and here you go. I generally find that press-ons last between 3 to 5 days for me, but I also mess with my nails. But very cute. I like them. Nice and springy with a little dip of color. So thanks for watching and I'll talk to you later. Bye.